Day 2 of factoring, we are going to move on to factoring trinomials. Okay, trinomials, what I mean by that is equations or functions that have 3 terms. Okay, so it's going to look a lot like our standard form of quadratic equations, where it's that ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, that's our standard form. We are going to be factoring those. Today we're specifically talking about when a equals 1. Okay, where this a value right here is 1. Okay, when it's not 1, it gets a little trickier. Okay, but today we're just focusing on when a is 1. Okay, so what we're going to follow, I'm going to call it the definition to say. Okay, we are looking for 2 numbers that multiply together to get C and add together to get B. Okay, multiply together to get C, add together to get B. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the greatest common factor, right? A factor is a number that goes into another number. Greatest common factor is the highest number that both multiples have in common. Okay, or the highest factor that both multiples have in common. Okay, so today we are going to look at a bunch of different examples that let us practice this idea. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into example 1. Here's an example. X squared plus 8x plus 15. Okay. Here is an example of a trinomial. Again, trinomial means an equation with 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yep. So this is what we focused on, not yesterday, this is like what the quiz was on when we were talking about the standard equations, okay? But now we're putting it with factoring, okay? So we're not graphing this or anything, we're not talking about all of the vertex and all of that, okay? We're just focusing on factoring, okay? So I'm going to go off of that definition that we wrote up there, okay? So that first part says I need 2 numbers that multiply together to get C. So what we're finding, what is my C value first? Remember, it goes A, B, C. 15. 2 numbers that multiply to get 15. We are looking for factors of 15. Okay, we are looking for factors of 15. What's an automatic factor of 15?
1.
1. What multiplies with 1 to get 15?
15.
1 and 15. Okay, write them specifically like that, and I'll explain why in a second. Okay, 1 and 15. What are some other factors?
3.
3. What multiplies together with 3? 5. Are there any other factors of 15?
No.
There is not. Okay? The second part of that. So you did the first part, now we just need to do the second part. And we need to add together to get B. Well, what's my B value?
8.
B is 8. We need to add together to get 8. So we're going to look at the pairs individually. Right now, I have 2 options. I need to pick one. Okay? Do 1 and 15 add up together to get 8? No. Do 3 and 5?
Yep.
3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, so my 2 factors that I am choosing are 3 and 5. Okay, now the last part is the easy part. All we're doing is just writing our answer. Okay, this is how you're going to write it all the time. You're going to take x plus 3 and x plus 5. You're going to take your 2 factors. That positive 3 goes in one of them. The positive 5 goes in the other. Okay? Nope, not as coordinates this time. So if, in parentheses, yes. Yep, as equations. If you wrote it this way, x plus 5 and x plus 3, that is also okay. Okay, it does not matter the order you write them in, okay, as long as you write them in that form. Let's do another example. All of these examples, we are going to follow the same directions. Okay, so the next one I want to try is x squared plus 5x plus 6. What is step 1? We want to check the C value. What are we specifically doing with the C value?
Looking at factors.
Finding factors. What's an automatic factor?
1 and 6.
1 and 6. Good. Remember, we're writing them as factor pairs. Okay, so 1 and 6 go together. What else?
2 and 3.
2 and 3 go together. Anything else?
No.
No. What do we look at next?
Which one of those equals 5 if you add them?
Yep, which one of our options equals 5 when we add them? 1 and 6?
No.
Nope. 2 and 3?
Yes.
Yes, so our options that we're picking are 2 and 3. How do I write my answer?
X plus 2 in parentheses. And then x plus 3 in parentheses.
Yep. Could you have wrote x plus 3, x plus 2? Yes. Okay. This right here is your final answer. Example 3, if I have x squared plus 10x plus 24. Try this one on your own. All right, step 1 is what?
C value.
Yep, what do we do with the C value? Look for factors, automatic factors. 1 in itself, yep, 1 and 24. What else do you guys got?
2 and 12.
2 and 12,
4 6.
4 and 6,
3 and 8.
3 and 8. Good. Is there any more that you guys came up with? Remember, if it helps you first, just like we did yesterday, you can list 24 and do the factors this way like we did yesterday. Okay, if it helps that way, and then get pairs from there. Okay. What do we do next? Add together to get what? 10. Yep. 1 and 24?
No.
Nope. 2 and 12?
No.
Nope. 4 and 6?
Yes.
Yep. Check the last one. 3 and 8?
No.
No. So 4 and 6 are my answers. How do I write it?
X plus 4, then x plus 6, and then this.
Yep. X plus 4, x plus 6. And that is your final answer.
Is it still right if we put them both in the same parentheses?
No, they need to be separate. Yep, they need to be separate. Because these are our two factors of that equation. Yep. Example 4. If I had x squared plus 3x minus 10. What do you notice about this example?
That's a negative.
There's a negative. Okay, it's going to change it a little bit, but we're still doing the same process. What is my C value now? Negative 10. Okay. Think of it separately. What are the factors of 10?
1 negative at 1 time.
110,
2 5.
2, 5. Is there any other ones?
No.
No. What is my B value? 3. So we need to figure out which one of those adds up to 3. 1 and 10?
2 5.
It is 2 and 5. Okay, but does 2 plus 5 give me 3? No. We got to watch out for this negative. How many of them do we have to change to a negative? 1 or 2?
1.
Why 1?
Because it's a negative. The product is a negative.
Right. We need 2. If we multiply 2 negatives together, that would give us a positive. Okay? So to get a negative answer for my C value, we need to multiply a negative and a positive number. So we need to decide out of 2 and 5 which one has to be negative to get 3. Okay? Yep, so if I write out both of these options, if I have negative 2 plus 5, what does that give me? 3. That's what we want, right? Okay, if that wasn't what we wanted, we would try it the other way. We would do 2 plus a negative 5, which would give us a negative 3. But which one was the correct one? The top one, right? So my two factors from the top option are negative 2 and 5. So how would I write my answer?
X minus 2 in parentheses, and then x plus 5.
Yep. So the only thing that changes when that C value is negative is we have to make sure that our equations still make sense. Okay, or that our factors are still making sense. Yes.
And for the
Do another example. If I had x squared minus 7x plus 12. What do I do first?
factor 12.
Factors of 12. Automatic factors.
1, 12,
1 in itself.
2, 6,
2 and 6.
3, 4.
3 and 4. Any other ones?
Nope.
Nope. So now what do we look for?
What
What adds to
equals
7?
-7?
What adds up to get -7? 1 and 12, could we get there?
No.
Nope. 2 and 6, can we get there?
No.
No. 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yes, but can they stay positive?
No.
No. Our C value, is it positive or negative?
Negative. Oh, yeah, positive.
Positive. So, does 3 plus 4 give me a positive 7?
Yeah.
It gives me a positive 7. Does it give me a negative 7? No. Okay. What do we do in this case?
Make them both negative.
They both have to be negative. Okay. Why do they both have to be negative?
Because that's the only way you could get a positive.
So you can just make them negative?
Yep. Yep. You can manipulate these numbers any way that you want as long as it stays true to here and stays true to here. Does that make sense? Okay. So, -3 and -4 are my answers. How do I write the actual answer?
X minus 3, right?
Yep. And?
X minus 4.
Yep. Good. All right, another example, if I have x squared minus 3x plus 2. What do I do first?
C value.
Yep, what do I do with the C value?
With the factors.
Yep, what are the factors of 2?
1,
1 and 2, that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we have to add up to get -3. Can I keep these both positive? No. Our C value is positive, so what do I need to do to both of them? Make them both negative. Yep. Double check, does -1 times -2 give me a positive 2?
Yeah.
Yes. Does -1 plus -2 give me a -3?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yes. How do I write my answer?
X minus 1,
X minus 1, X
X minus 2.
minus 2. Yep. One more I want to talk about. One more type before we move on to something new. X squared plus 6x plus 9. First, I find the factors of my C value, which is 9. What are they? 1 and 9. 3 and 3. Is it okay to have the same number?
Yes.
Yes, okay. 3 is a factor of 9, but how I get this other 3 is we're taking 9 divided by 3 to get that other 3. Okay, because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, now check what adds up to 6. 1 and 9? No, 3 and 3.
Yes.
Do we have to change anything?
No.
Nope, they can stay the same, so how do we write our answer?
X plus 3,
X plus 3, X plus 3. Now we're going to slowly get into if A was not 1, okay, because it does change a little bit. I'm going to show you a process that we're going to use when we do that, okay? So this is called factoring by grouping. What do you think of when you hear the term grouping? Putting things together in groups, okay? Exactly. That is what we are going to be doing with these, okay? So I'm just going to jump into an example, okay? Let's define some things first. I got ahead of myself. So factoring by grouping is if we have 4 terms. We have 4 terms, and we want to group them in groups of 2. So we're going to take the 4 terms and group them into groups of 2. After that, we are going to find the GCF. Find the GCF of both groups. And then the last step is we're going to factor. Or take out, and divide. Okay? Why do you think I had you write these down? Yep, so you can look back at it and it shows you the steps. Okay? Right now, I understand those steps might not make much sense to you, right? Okay, but we're going to do an example following these steps. Okay, so I'm going to, you guys have those written down?
No way.
Okay. I'm going to jump into an example. How many terms did I say we were going to have? 4. Okay, so I have 4x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 10.
So can we still do ABC and then add D?
With this, no. Don't think A, B, C, D. Nope. Okay, so I have 4 terms, yeah?
Yeah.
What did I say to do next? We're going to group them in groups of 2. So I'm going to take the first 2 terms. Do you understand what I mean by terms?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to take the first 2 terms, put them in a group. What do we use in math to group things? Parentheses. So I'm going to put parentheses around the first 2. And then what do I have left? The last 2. Okay, so I grouped the first 2 together. I grouped the second 2 together. Yeah?
Yeah.
What's step 3?
Find the greatest common factor of both groups.
Find the GCF of both groups. So I'm going to find the GCF of 4x squared and 8x. Okay, so take it by numbers first. This is what we did yesterday. What is the greatest common factor of 4 and 8? 4. Yep, so write 4. And then we still have these x's, right? I have 2 here and 1 here. How many do I want? Which one do I want? I want the smallest. Okay, so we want 1 there. Okay, what was that 4th step? Factor and take out. So my GCF is 4x. Okay, so now we're going to take 4x out of both of those terms. Okay, so if I take 4 divided by 4, what is that? 1. If I started with 2 x's, I took out 1, how many do I have left? 1. So in there, in that spot, I have x left. Okay, so if I write this off to the side for those of you that aren't here, if I have 4x squared, I got that from here, divided by 4x, I got that from here. Okay, do you agree these 4's cancel out?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 2 x's cancel, so I'm just left with 1. Right, that's where I got this 4x from. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. What is my common factor of 4 and 8? Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Now, since we did this with 4x squared, we're going to do the same thing with 8x squared. Or, sorry, 8x. So I have negative 8x divided by what? 4x. Okay, what's negative 8 divided by 4? Negative 2. So I put that in here. And then what happens to these x's?
Cancel.
They cancel, so I'm not left with any x's on the inside. Okay, so my new thing that I have right here is 4x times x minus 2. We're going to do the same thing to that second group. Okay, so we want to find the GCF of 5x and 10. What's the GCF of 5 and 10? 5. So I'm going to write plus 5 here. Can I have an x as a common factor?
No.
Why not?
There's no x on that.
Because 10 doesn't have an x, so I cannot put x as a common factor. Okay, so we're ready to start dividing and taking out. What is 5 divided by 5? 1. And did I take this x out? Nope, so x stays. What is negative 10 divided by 5? Negative 2. What do you notice about what we have left here?
The same thing, but like same thing in parentheses.
Correct. This should happen. Okay? If this doesn't happen, think back to elimination. Remember, if something didn't cancel out, you did something wrong.
Wait, the parentheses should always be the same?
Yes. Okay? To double check yourself at this step, these parentheses should always be the same. If they're not, you did something wrong, you need to go back. Okay? In this case, they are the same, so we can move on to our last step, and that's just rewriting the answer. Okay? So, we take what we have in common. What do we have in common?
X minus 2.
So, x minus 2 is one of our factors. And then we write what we have left. What's left?
4x plus 5.
Yep. So, we took what we have in common, and then we took what we have left over. do another example. If I have x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. Okay. First of all, how do you know if you're going to factor normally or factor by grouping?
How many terms?
How many terms there are? How many terms we got?
4.
4, so we're going to factor by grouping. Okay, first step of factoring by grouping is what? Group them, okay? First 2 go together, last 2 go together. So make sure you draw in those parentheses so you can visualize. Okay. What do I look for next?
The GCF of both groups.
GCF of both groups. Okay. What is my GCF in the first group?
1.
The number would be 1. What else?
1.
The x, right? Because this one has 2. This one has 1. So in common they have 1. Remember, you take the common out. Okay. With the x's, you're always going to take the smallest. Okay. Do they have anything else in common other than the x? Nope. So now we're going to take out the x. We're going to divide. What's x squared divided by x?
X.
Just x, right? Or think I started with 2. I took out 1. How many do I have left?
1.
Okay. Did I do anything with that 3? Nope. And then do I have an x left there? Nope, I took it out. Close your parentheses. Now we're going to do the same process for the second pair of parentheses. What's a common factor between 2 and 6? 2. Anything else? Can I take out an x? Nope, because there's no x with the 6. So what's 2 divided by 2? 1. And do I still have this?
Yes.
Yes. What should I get in this parentheses?
Plus 3.
X plus 3 is 6 divided by 2, 3?
Yes.
Yes. Did I do it correctly?
Yeah.
How do I know?
Because their parentheses are the same.
Parentheses are the same. How do I write my answer now?
X plus 3.
Yep, what I have the same.
X plus
2.
Yep, and then what I have left over. We're going to do multiple examples. Yep, right now. 3x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 10. So what are we going to do? Grouping. I'm going to group the first 2 and group the last 2. Now what?
Find the common.
Find what they have in common. Do 3 and 2 have a number in common?
1.
1, right? Okay, what about the x's? How many am I going to take out? 1. Okay, so did I do anything with this 3? No, 3 stays. How many x's do I have left? 1. Did I do anything with this 2? Nope, so I have plus 2. What about the x? It's gone, right? What can I take out of the second group?
5.
5. 15 divided by 5?
3.
I'm going to back up a little bit. Can I take an x out?
No.
No, because 10 doesn't have the x, right? So I heard 15 divided by 5 is 3. What about this x? Keep it, yep. And then 10 divided by 5? Plus 2. What should happen? They should be the same. If they're not, can you move on? No, they have to be the same. How do I write my answer?
Parentheses, x plus 5.
Yep.
And the remaining.
Yep. Remember, it does not matter the order that you put these in, just as long as you have both of them. Okay, so you could have also put 3x plus 2 times x plus 5.
Did you get x plus 5?
The leftovers.
Because I thought it has to be 3x plus 2.
So again, it doesn't matter what order you write them in. Okay?
There's not 2 3x's plus 2.
No. So this is your answer or this is your answer.
Because just the parentheses in the middle part have to be the same.
Correct.
And then just
Correct. Yep, so you take what's the same and then you take what's left over. Yep.